Hola, buenas tardes, everyone, and that is good evening in Spanish. Of course, I'm still going to continue to teach myself that lovely language until I master it and move on to another one. But I am home, back from Mexico City, and like I always like to say, there's no place like the next destination, but home is always good. So I'm gonna wrap up my trip for Mexico City because I didn't get to do a pre-video and show you how I planned it and maybe talk about some of the things I was looking forward to. But so I'll, like I said, get through this video and explain to you some of the things that I did get to do. And so sorry, like I said, I will get better as I do more videos. So first off, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for your posts on the videos, your comments, and on just a few of the pictures I posted and a couple of updates here and there on Instagram. I'm gonna take the time in the coming days to learn how to put my photos together, present my video clips and media, small movie, maybe a short movie type thing. Definitely I'm gonna do that because I just want to practice and get better at this and presenting these trips to you guys, especially because I'm so grateful that you follow me, you look for these pics, and you always want to make sure that I'm well, and you always want to know what's the next destination. So I'll go ahead and get started because I did get some advice on the video should maybe be shorter, which did not bother me at all. I do agree, and like I said, maybe I'll get better as time go on learning how to edit these videos. Okay, so on Thursday night when I left out, if you watched the last video, unfortunately there was a weather delay getting into Toronto, but by the time we got there, my connecting flight from Mexico City had already departed. So I was able to stay overnight in Toronto, and the Air Canada took care of all of that. So when I did leave the following morning, I got to Mexico City on Friday. I checked into my hostel around maybe like right before 2, and I guess everything caught up to me. I was a little bit tired, so I decided to just relax Friday evening. I did go out and walk around, and I have to tell you guys, I was completely taken away. I did not know what to expect, but I certainly didn't expect all the beauty, the architect, the gorgeous area that I stayed in. It was just absolutely amazing. So I did that on Friday night and just snapped a couple of pictures. So I did turn in early, so I got up early Saturday morning, got cleaned up, got some breakfast. Now the hostel I stayed in provided free breakfast, breakfast tacos made to your liking, cereal, yogurt, toast, whatever else that you might have wanted, but that was included in the price of the hostel. So I got cleaned up, found a great place to go and have some authentic real Mexican food. Of course, it was in Mexico City. That's what I expected, and that was one of the best parts about Mexico City, that it was not really spoiled by American ways like some foreign places I've been to. I've just been a little bit disappointed, but Mexico was completely authentic. And yes, there was some restaurants here and there as far as McDonald's, some KFC, but not completely spoiled. There was authentic food and music and real Mexican culture, and the people, all of it just combined and just made just an incredible experience for me. And like I said, again, totally unexpected, and I wished I had stayed longer. But after I had lunch, I decided to do something I've only done once before. That was get on the hop on, hop off bus tour. And that turned out to be a great idea. For the full day from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. you could ride it for not even $10. If you decide to do 2 days, maybe close to $15, almost $20, but it's still a great bargain. But I got on around, let me see, maybe 1 o'clock, 1:30, and I just decided to just ride the bus and view the city from the bus because it was a little bit toasty, and for some reason I decided to ride on the open air part of the bus, and that's why I'm a little bit tan there. But I eventually went inside the air conditioning part, and I was just struck by the eclecticness, the newness, the oldness, and how they just made it mash in and present Mexico City so beautifully. And again, the highlights for me were the people. They were so gracious and just so accommodating, and everywhere at all times somebody was trying to sell you something. There were people on the freeway trying to sell, you know, whatever it was that they were selling, and that really shocked me because I was hoping, you know, this was the off ramp that I was looking at. No, I was like, this was a full blown freeway. But so I decided to do that, and that could be a great idea for someone who's traveling alone. It's your first time to Mexico City. You can get on the hop on, hop off bus, ride it around maybe the first day if you don't want to get off, and you can get an idea of something that you might like to do while you're on the tour, because the tour takes you throughout the city. They had 3 tours, one focused on all the museums, all the historic aspects of the city. Some of the tour buses took you a little bit outside of the city to do things that were located outside of the city, like there was hot air ballooning, but that happened on Monday night. That was something I really wanted to do actually after I got there and saw that. So that's a great idea for someone, like I said, if you're alone or you're with friends, whatever the case may be. You can take it the first day and just ride it around the city, or you can get on the buses, come back to the stops every 20 minutes. So if you get bored or you're not really interested in it, where you got off the bus at, you can just hop right back on. Like I said, it's the hop on, hop off bus tour. So I basically did that, and I just stayed on it and rode until what, 7, 8 o'clock at night. Came back, you know, to my hostel. I chilled on the rooftop lounge and bar that was above my hostel. There was a beautiful view of the city, lots of other travelers. That's the one thing I like about hostels. You get to meet other people. There are lounging areas or kitchens, whatever the case may be, open spaces, bars, restaurants inside, and you get to meet other travelers, excuse me. And that's how I get my ideas as far as, you know, the next trip I might want to take. Now on Sunday, I slept in a little bit, got me some, you know, breakfast, woke up, got some breakfast. I went back to some of the other places that were in walking distance that I saw while I was on the hop on, hop off bus tour. And it was a beautiful area filled with all kinds of street shopping, street food, and that is some of the best food in Mexico City. Actually, the street food was amazing. Just everything was delicious. I did a little shopping. I picked up some little gifts. I always like to get myself something to remind me, you know, of my trips. But I mean, there was everything. There was even a Foley's, you guys, and if you're in Houston, you probably remember Foley's. They're now Macy's, but I actually saw a Foley's. I was in the vehicle. I didn't get a chance to get a picture of it, but that just shocked me. There was even a Sears. I know this may not sound like it's so shocking, but once you get to Mexico City, you will see there's not a lot of American influences. Only, you know, just a handful here and there. But again, and so later on that evening, I came back in refreshed, and I had a chance to see probably one of the most incredible and most fun things I've ever done on a trip was the historic El Lucha Libre wrestling in Mexico. So as a part of the tour, which probably costed maybe not even $50, maybe $45, there was round trip transportation there, your ticket into the arena. They fed us homemade chicken, beef, and vegetarian tacos, homemade guacamole and chips, and a shot of Mezcal, M-E-Z-A-L. Sorry about that. It's a type of tequila, but it's where most tequilas are anywhere from 25 to 30% alcohol. The Mezcal is 46% alcohol, so we really just had to sip on that, you know, even though it was a shot. But that was delicious, and again, this was all a part of the cost of the tour. We even got to keep our our mask. I did wear this, you know, just for a little while, you know, just to, you know, be a part of the crowd. But I have to tell you guys, I have so many videos, so many wonderful clips from the wrestling. It is so cool. They even came out into the aisle and they were fighting at one point just 2 seats away from me. They had an earthquake evacuation while we were there in the theater. We had to do the whole, it was a drill. We had to do the whole hold your head down, put your hands, you know, over your head like we used to do in elementary. But the way we went out and came back in, it was so orderly. It was so shocking to me. But so yeah, so that was just a full blown highlight, and I'm telling you guys, if you get to go, that is definitely something you want to do. That's the El Lucha Libre wrestling, all kinds of characters, and it was just amazing. I've never seen anything like that. Okay, just take my word for it, or go to Mexico City and make sure you see it. And after this video, like I said, I'm going to be working on, you know, my own YouTube channel, IGTV, some other things, a blog. So of course I'll talk about Mexico City in so much more detail. Maybe it's something you can do, you know, on your Saturday mornings or Saturday afternoons, glass of wine, partake in the videos, you know, and read the blogs. And I'll definitely keep everyone, you know, posted when it comes to that. I did pick up some perfume. It wasn't in my plan, but I came across this, and I took a whiff of it, and it was just perfect. It's a mixture of lily and rose and iris with some woods and amber wood and cedar wood, and it just instantly reminded me of the architect of the beautiful buildings, the mixture of old and new and mid, and the way they took care of, you know, the older buildings in the midst of all the newness, and surrounded by the cafes. The streets were even cobblestone. There were parts of Mexico that were modeled after Paris, and again, you could see that in the cobblestone streets, the street lights, the greenery, the eclectic cafes, and, you know, even some of the buildings to reference some older Paris. But I felt that right away, and that was really, really cool, because you guys know Paris is one of my favorite places. But I won't get carried away with that, because I'm, you know, want to keep this video a little bit shorter. So those are just some of the highlights of Mexico City. It's a very inexpensive getaway. Go with your friends, go with, you know, by yourself. Again, like I said, I do travel mostly alone, but I met some wonderful, wonderful people, and those other travelers gave me what I'm about to come to next. Some ideas for my upcoming trip, and of course I would have a globe in my home. Earlier today I did look at Cuba, but my next trip is going to be somewhere at the end of August, September, fall like, but it's hurricane season, so that's out of the question. During that time of the year, I really would like to go somewhere where I can, you know, get that full fall effect, and it goes with the, you know, the atmosphere of where I might want to travel. So I thought about Quebec, you know, a little bit. I thought about Lisbon. I thought about Lyon, France, and even Africa. But I want to make Africa an extremely, extremely special trip. And I already looked in some of the prices of the destinations I previously mentioned, and those tickets are running around maybe $300 and under. I will again come online, and I will we can do that together. So I'll show you from start to finish how I start to book, how I feel like I get the best prices on my trips, and what there is to do. I'll show you that ahead of time, and then you know, when I take that trip, maybe some of you might want to go with me, meet me there, who knows. I'll be there. God will, I will be there. So again, thank you guys so much for all the support, all the feedback. I hope you continue to stay with me, and I hope you follow along with me as I plan this next trip. And I'm also gonna figure out how to edit this video a little bit, so a little bit under 15 minutes. I think that was pretty good. My goal, that was my goal. So, but anyway, I'm sorry, I will sign off, and with that I will say, make sure you travel often, travel safely, and travel happy. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you again.